Jess, welcome to the show.
Hi, Rick. Thanks for having me.
What do you think so far?
I love it. The office is beautiful. It's great.
The sound check always gets me. It's like, I could sit here behind the camera for an hour and talk, but like the sound check, I feel so awkward. I don't know what to say. Like all of a sudden.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
And they're like, literally say anything. And I'm like, So, well, thanks for coming on. Very excited to talk to you. I think you're in a really interesting position where, we get a lot of partner marketers on this show, but every now and then we get someone on the show who does nothing but work with partner marketers.
Right.
And so I'm really, excited to hear about your agency, what you're doing there. But first, love to learn a little bit about you. So you drove up from Duxbury.
Yes.
How was the drive? Because Boston traffic's...
Drive was great. This is midday, so no rush hour.
Even in the rain.
It can be rough. I know it was raining this morning when I left, and then the sun came out over Needham.
All
Look
right.
at that.
Love it.
Yeah.
And are you from the Boston area?
Yeah. I grew up in Massachusetts, lived in Boston most of my adult life, and then during the pandemic, we kind of flew the city like everybody.
Yeah.
We found ourselves in a bedroom apartment condo in the city, 1,000 square feet, 2 babies.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, we got to get out of here, honey. Bring your checkbook because we're making an offer. And we ended up in Duxbury, and it's been so wonderful. It's such a beautiful place to live and raise kids,
Yeah, my mom grew up next town over, Kingston.
Yeah.
So I know the area a little bit. How did you pick the area? Were you just looking for something outside the city but somewhat close?
I mean, I'm a water girl.
Yeah.
I'm an ocean baby. I was born on the Cape, so I've got to have it. Like, there's no way we could be landlocked.
So I got to ask,
Yeah.
do you have the great whites in Duxbury? Because I know they've seen them outside of Plymouth a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely shark sightings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
We have a lot of great oysters, though.
Yeah.
We focus on the oysters.
We should do oysters next time with the wine, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go. All right, so I want to hear a little bit about your agency. Tell me about your agency. It's Vigor, right?
Yes, Vigor.
All right, so give me the elevator pitch on Vigor.
Yeah, so Vigor is a small boutique agency. We work a lot with tech and cybersecurity companies, and we help them grow. And really our skill set and where we specialize in helping them do that through ecosystems and through their partners. Sometimes we're working for large companies, big brands that you've heard about, and sometimes they're small startups or scale-ups. But they're not happy with the status quo or where they're at, and they're looking to grow. So we help them do that.
I love it. Yeah. So I want to know your story on kind of like, here you are telling us about your agency and how you're helping companies. Yeah. How did you get here? But first, before I do that, I have like this, what I call the thunder round. And it's not a lightning round because I don't go so fast, as my wife always says. And I forgot to ask it on my podcast this morning.
Oh,
my other
come
guest.
on.
So I'm going to do it right off the bat.
You're failing.
And you know what it is though? I almost feel like when I don't have the wine or alcohol, I forget to ask the lightning round questions. You think it's like I would forget with the liquor, but it's like the opposite. So all right.
It loosens you up.
So here you go. And I was stalking you on LinkedIn and I thought you were a Boston girl. So these are all Boston-based questions.
Great.
Favorite Boston sports team?
Patriots.
Okay. Matt Damon or Ben Affleck?
Ooh, both.
Can you pick both?
Why not?
All right. Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, or Mary Lou's?
Starbucks.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
If you had to live anywhere outside of Massachusetts, where would you live?
I would think California.
Yeah? What part?
Southern.
Okay.
Yeah.
I grew up in NorCal, so I'll let that one slide. All right.
You've got great wine, though.
Yeah, I figured you'd like Napa more,
Yeah, it's nice.
All right, so again, you're running an agency now, working with a lot of tech companies. How'd you get here?
I mean, I was always working with, large companies in tech and kind of grew up in big corporate environments and...
Doing marketing or
what
were you doing?
Marketing. Yeah. So out of undergrad, I got really fortunate in that I got into a program called the Marketing Leadership Development Program at EMC. This was prior to the Dell acquisition, right? And really had a solid foundation and was able to experience, 6 different marketing departments within, a massive company who at the time was at the top of their game, right? So gave me a really great chance to learn a lot about how all the different aspects of marketing work together. And very soon I gravitated towards partnering and partner marketing. And just kind of that carried through with each and every role I've had since that time. But yeah, I grew up in a very large kind of organization, big company culture. After about 9 years, decided that I was looking for something different. So I went to a startup, loved it, we got acquired by another very big company.
Were you doing partner marketing at the startup?
Yes.
What kind of partner marketing?
Yeah, I was running the partner program
Okay.
for them globally. Yeah. So building, what does the MDF program look like? What does the partnering structure look like?
All types of partners or
Primarily channel partners
Okay.
at the time. Yep. But working very closely with the channel sales team to put together, what does the advisory council look like? What does the advisory board look like? How we're going to launch new partner programs going forward. So really on the program side, not in the field.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Got it. All right.
Yeah.
And then so you're at this startup, and then what happened?
We got acquired.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was swooped up into the big machine again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really great. But it really solidified for me that I loved working in smaller organizations where I felt like I had my hands more in different aspects of the business, right?
Yeah.
Even beyond marketing. So I wanted to go back to a smaller company and was fortunate to do that and also make kind of a bit of a jump from tech and kind of traditional data center over to cybersecurity. So that was a really cool step for me to take at that point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So how'd you make the jump from, I'll say, corporate world, whether large or small, to running your own agency?
I had gotten to work with so many different companies and so many different partner types that I had felt like my life was in a changing time. It was the pandemic, I was moving out of the city and my family was growing, and I thought to myself, where do I really want to go and how do I feel like I can make the most impact? So that was kind of a turning point for me when I said, I can do this. I've got the skill sets across these disciplines. I've built an awesome network of really amazing, smart people. I can do this. I'm going to go out on my own and give this a shot, right?
I love it. I love it. Was it scary?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, super scary. And for me at that time, my husband had made the leap to go out and start his own business.
Same time.
No, at that point it was about 2 years before me. So he had kind of paved the way.
Yeah.
And had said, babe, you can do it. I'll help you, but you can do it. You've got what it takes. So that was really reassuring, but also, I was carrying the corporate benefits and all that comes with it, and more of kind of the stability for our growing family. So it was a significant, decision for us. And I got to tell you, I'm never looking back.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's that transition been like from employee to founder? I mean, it's kind of a mindset shift from, I guess, many different ways, depending on which way you want to look at it.
Totally. I mean, in every way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So like looking back, has being an employee shaped the way that you run a company? I mean, from running a team to the way you manage your time to your priorities. What's that shift been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, being an employee, whether at these companies, an individual contributor or managing a team of people, it's all about being human and being a person and how you interact and the relationships that you build with your colleagues, right? So that perspective really helped me to consider how I was going to build a team of people around me in this new way, and how important it really is to have everybody rowing in the same direction and really bought in and really believing in what's the mission, what are we trying to accomplish, what are we doing, and how are we going about doing it. So definitely showed me just the importance of human connection and being real with people.
Now, do you have an office or is your team virtual?
I have office location ADD.
Yeah.
I work in different places
Yeah.
all the time, so you never know what my background's going to look like. I work a lot at client offices.
Okay.
I also have an office in town, so I can go to that and get out of the house and away from the kids who are in and out. But sometimes I work at my kitchen countertop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
And the reason why I ask is because getting a team bought in, coalesced around a certain mission, that can be hard with a virtual team. I've noticed, and I've struggled with that too, right? And I have a team of 12, just making sure we're all rowing in the same direction,
right?
And we're all bought in. That's hard in a virtual world where, we have offices too, and people kind of go in, and I rather my reps are out with customers. But
Right.
that cultural aspect in a virtual world is a challenge.
It can be, but it's also a huge opportunity. So our team, we aren't based physically together. So I'm in my office and they're in their office, they're in their kitchen, they're in their dining room, they're at a client office. So we're a remote team, but we make a point when we can to be physically together. And that could be spending a day at a Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just being physically together to work for the day. We're going together to a client office. But yeah, I think it just forces you to schedule and make time purposefully to connect, right? So it could just be, let's catch up and take that extra couple of minutes at the beginning of a team call or something to just talk life. What's going on? Like, let's get our coffee. Let's just chit chat for a couple of minutes before we just jump straight into it.
Yeah.
And doing that as a team is as important as doing that with your client.
It's so true. The human connection element, someone said something to me once that it just really resonated with me. They said, sometimes more is accomplished in the hallways than is accomplished in the meeting room.
Totally.
And when they said that, I was like, and I was just reflecting on my life, like, that is just so true. Like, sometimes just being walked out of a client's, office to the front door in a good way.
Yeah.
Not being kicked out.
That sounds so great.
Yeah, but like, that's where like a lot of my big business deals have been done. And just because I think it's more that, we're more in a room, it's almost more formal, and then when you're walking out or walking in, it's almost more that human level, and guards are down, and it's so true. And speaking of human level, your time at EMC, is that where you connected with Dan Kessler?
Yes.
Okay, because Dan's the one that recommended you be on the show, and I was trying to make the connection.
Yes.
Which I love, because I love referrals. Like, let's get good people on the show. So
he's a great guy.
that's what I love about this industry, too. It's so, B2B marketing, B2B tech marketing, and specifically B2B partner tech marketing. But everybody just kind of knows everybody, and it's just, there's a real sense of community and support that I love.
Right. That's one of the reasons why I felt confident in, going my own way, right? Because it is such a tight community, and that you've got a really strong network, really great people, really smart people doing smart things at smart companies, right? So yeah, you end up just continuing to work together, just in a different capacity. Yeah.
All right, so at Vigor specifically, how are you helping partner marketers? What does that generally look like? Why are they coming to you? What do a lot of the programs look like? What are the initiatives that you're working on?
Yeah, and sometimes we're helping partner marketers, and sometimes there are no partner marketers at the companies that we're helping.
Okay.
Right, so we can come in and we can kind of act as their marketing team, their partner marketing team, or we can become an extension of it.
Okay.
Right, so they have challenges just like all of us do. They're limited on resources. They're limited on the skill set. They have way too much stuff on their plate than they could possibly get done. Or maybe they're in a role, or maybe they're at a stage in a company where they don't have that specialized skill set, right? Where somebody like Vigor can come in and we can work together hand in hand with them, roll up our sleeves, and kind of figure out what is it that we want to get done and what's the best way to go about it in leveraging their ecosystem and their partnerships to help do it better, faster, smarter.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, specifically, like, what from your background, I think, really prepared you for this? Is it just knowing exactly their challenges, what they need to do? You've basically lived this.
Yeah.
Right? And are you surrounding yourself with people like similar experience with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that I think is really unique and I love about what we do and how we do it is we've had the experience of being on both sides of the partnering side of the house. So we've been at companies where we've been partners. So we've also been at companies where we've had to manage partners. So we've seen both sides.
Yeah.
So what is it that a partner's looking for from a vendor? Right, and what's the best way to do business together? And then on the flip side, if you're managing a bunch of partners, what are the best practices and what are the things that you can do to make that engagement better and smoother for partners, right?
Yeah, and in terms of like working with sales and field, because I imagine getting some of these organizations and they might not be all working together like they should. Like, what best practice do you see when it comes to implementing these partner marketing programs, initiatives? Making sure sales is included or working alongside field marketing? What's the best way to make sure everyone's collaborating and going in the right direction.
Yeah, everybody's got to be involved from the beginning, and nothing can be done in isolation, right? So you really shouldn't be moving forward without first talking to sales. We're all on the same team, right? And the same goes with the fields because they're closest to the end user, right? So you got to have the voice of the customer always, as well as the voice of the partner. So really need to build a cross-functional team, tiger team, core team, call it what you want, but have a representative from all kind of the critical areas of the business together to help design the best strategy. Like, what's the best program? Because, you know, if we build a plan and we can't operationalize it or can't stand it up or sales isn't bought in, field marketing's not set up with what they need to execute, it falls down. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Thinking about your personal approach to marketing. So you're running an agency. There's obviously it's probably endless priorities, endless things to focus on. You have to select a few, right?
Yeah.
So thinking about like, you know, the few key values or the key areas of focus for the agency, you know, what are those for you? And like, how does that reflect kind of your personal approach to marketing?
I mean, running an agency means you wear all the hats.
Yeah.
You know, everybody says that all the time. It's so cliche, blah, blah, blah. But it's you literally, you got to do it all. I've got to be HR. I'm trying to promote my husband to be HR, though. He won't take the job. Yeah. But, you know, it's really about how can we do what's best for the client always. How can we maintain our quality in how we work with the client and the work product and the results that we deliver for the client as we also grow as a team and as a small, lean, mean agency, you know? So I'm thinking about all those priorities all the time.
Yeah. Now, you work with a lot of different marketers out there. Are you seeing common challenges out there, you know, regardless of if they're big or small, building partner teams not? Like, what are the common challenges you're seeing out in the market?
I mean, there's a lot of consolidation going on right now. I think there's a lot of point products that end user customers are looking to move to more of platform plays and connecting fewer platforms together to kind of simplify management. And so finding the right partners with the right skill sets, advisory, strategic partners that are going to really consult them on choosing the right solutions or how to better connect their solutions to make them work better together. That's really what I see going on kind of broader in the industry. And then so it's, as an organization, if you're looking to grow through a partner ecosystem, understanding that this is the position these partners are in, and knowing and working with the partners to be a part of the conversation to design the right programs and the right things that they need to be successful. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to designing the right programs, is that where your agency plays a pivotal role in terms of helping design those programs at scale?
Mm-hmm, definitely. I mean, we work with some clients where it's help us build our partner ecosystem from the ground up. We might have a couple of signed partners. We might be doing a couple of things. There might be an MSP play going on, a bit of a tech alliance play, a bit of traditional resale play going on. But how do we really formalize this and get this off the ground? So what are the right things that we need to do to attract the right partners and recruit them and get them on board or engage and expand more with current partnerships? Fuel them, get them actually driving the demand, becoming self-sufficient, being able to kind of go out and do the fishing on the vendor's behalf, right? So we look at it across the entire life cycle of partnering.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I love success stories.
Do it.
Yeah, let's do it. I love success stories, and you don't need to name names like we worked with Partner X, but any projects that you can talk about that have been successful, like a real life example of partner had this challenge, we came in, here's what we did, and again, you don't have to share the secret sauce of the results, but
yeah.
anything you can share.
One client that we've been working with for a couple of years now, actually, was having a kind of a moment where they wanted to start really. I don't want to say monetize because monetize might not be the right word, but it's really start to have their tech alliance partnerships contributing to the business, right? So they had done all the great things to build the right API connections and do the right things at the relationship level, really make sure that all the strategic elements of their tech alliance relationships were in place. And now it was really time to have that evolve into monetization, contributing to influence and source revenue for the business. So we came in and we helped establish a new function at this company where these people that were put into this new role were actually responsible for bridging the gap between the client sales teams and channel account managers with the Tech Alliances sales and go-to-market teams, and really facilitating those introductions between the two, bringing data to the table also, because at the time they had invested heavily in a big data sharing platform, but weren't kind of like operational just yet in that and getting all the value out of it. So, they brought the relationships to the table, matchmaking. They brought the data to the table to help them understand where they should be targeting, which accounts they should be mapping together with, and intel sharing. So this was a big project, and it's taken a long time, but now it's really starting to bear a lot of fruit, right? And it's become a best-in-class kind of Tech Alliances program. Yeah.
I love it because I think, when people hear the word agency, they think like program, right? I'm going to have an agency help me put together a program. But I mean, that's a real like strategic consultative approach that you guys took with that customer. It wasn't just someone coming to you to help run an advertising program with their partner.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great point because we do a lot of partner marketing and maybe traditional kind of partner programs, demand gen, lead gen kind of marketing programs. But we also do a lot of go-to-market partner strategic advising and how do we put together the right strategies and plans to connect sales and channel and partner and marketing and ops to make the entire partner motion work for the company.
Yeah, because I think if you don't have that foundation in place, it doesn't matter necessarily how many programs you run, they might not be successful.
Right.
They might be, but I think you're up against a hill on that one.
Right, totally.
So thinking about the programs themselves, I often hear program in a box. Partner marketers are looking for program in the box that they can either take to their partners or take to their partner marketing managers and scale.
Right.
How should partner marketers be thinking about building these out? Like, what best practices do you have for building a program in the box to take to market?
I kind of feel like program in a box should be a swear word. A little bit.
This is on the road after hours now, right?
Right. So because I really think that it's critical to understand partners aren't created equal. That's just the reality. So it's really important to know who your focused partners are and the ones that you really should be spending time on joint go-to-market. And so what I really strongly recommend is that you take a look at what's the right customized program, marketing approach with that specific focus partner of yours, because their value proposition, their solution offering, what they're doing to add value around services or delivery around your solution, it's unique to them and their business model. And so that story should be unique in how you jointly go to market versus another strategic focus partner of yours. Obviously, that takes a lot of work, and that creating a highly customized program is not light lifting. But if you do it, you can really drive more impactful results versus maybe trying to do the one-size-fits-all kind of method across the board. Yeah. That really helps in some ways when you're serving more of an ecosystem sort of tier of partner of yours, if you've grown to that kind of level, where partners can come in and pick things off the shelf. But if you've got a strategic partnership going on, you really should be looking at how do we create a custom go-to-market approach.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, when I think about what we're doing here at Foundry, we obviously have programs. You can come in and just buy a program off the shelf, right? But a lot of our top tier clients, we're utilizing what we call program architects internally, because almost everything we do at a certain level is customized now. Right. And that can be challenging to scale, but to your point, it does deliver better results, and we see stronger engagement, right. And we're not just selling the same cookie cutter thing to each customer. We're really customizing around their story, their content, their target audience, their need, their partners, and so forth. But there's some scalability challenges with that.
Totally. So you've got to have the right balance.
Yeah, it makes sense. So I want to ask you in terms of because this always makes me think that not that we think partner marketing is complicated. It is complicated, but do we also overcomplicate it? And the reason why I ask this is you're obviously working with companies that have all this function set up, but also companies that are trying to set it up, right? So, how complicated is partner marketing, and do we also overcomplicate it?
I think that it takes agility. You've got to be able to be flexible. And what happens when it becomes overcomplicated is because you're not being flexible. You have no flexibility built into your working model, or the way that you're engaging with partners, the way that you're constructing your programs. So I think that as long as you've got flexibility and an agile kind of mindset built in, then it's not complicated. It's people, it's partners, it's business, it's, you know what I mean? It's, we're humans.
Do you have to be a people person to be a partner marketer?
Yes.
I think so too.
Absolutely.
I think that could be a challenge, but almost everyone I know that's successful in partner marketing have like social intelligence. They're just very good at understanding and having empathy, and
right.
I think that's a huge key to the partner marketing side.
Yeah, I mean, take any relationship that you have in your life, a spouse, a friend, your mother. Now just apply that to, I'm a company, you're a company, and we're partnering. Yeah. We have feelings. We each have our own motivations. There's things we want to do, there's things that we don't want to do.
Yeah.
But we have to communicate, and we have to give and take a little bit. And sometimes our relationship changes over time, but that's, yeah.
I see, so I look like 10 years out now, I almost see, because, you have corporate marketing, you have field marketing, you have partner marketing. I almost see the worlds colliding a little bit. I had Clarissa Gent on from AWS, and she was saying, at AWS, they're really letting the customer lead. Whether it's a field opportunity or partner opportunity, like the customer decides. And then we're just going to get around that. And I think these worlds of these siloed marketing organizations are going to come together. And I think there's going to be a place for, like, if you're not a people person, that's fine. I mean, if you're in corporate or field, because you could be in analytics, you can be in content. I think there's going to be more opportunities for people with less people skills in partner marketing as these worlds come together, and partner marketing isn't off on its own little silo with just a bunch of people, relationship skills, partners. Like, it's going to be part of the whole overall marketing strategy.
Yeah.
So here we are trying to bring the world together.
I think everybody just needs to become partner marketing.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't see a world where you don't have a real, forward-looking marketing strategy without thinking about how your partners are going to help you get there.
Period.
Yeah. So fun times. All right. So, I do want to ask about the career side of things, because I think you have a really interesting career trajectory where you kind of came up working at channel, big companies, small companies, started your own agency.
Right.
It's doing well. Thinking about people like you years ago, like where they are now, like what advice do you have for them? They're thinking about their careers, whether they want to be at a big company or a small company or start their own company. How should they be thinking about what's next for them?
Thinking about what's next for them. I mean, I would just say follow your gut. That's really what I've done. And it can get me into trouble sometimes, but most of the time, it's kind of led me the right way. So you follow your intuition. And if you're naturally gravitated towards something, like I was gravitated towards partnering, I was labeled a channel girl very early on in my career, and maybe almost in a, not an overly positive way, like Jess, you might want to diversify and build some skill sets in other areas and not be solely focused on partner marketing, right? But that's where my gut was leading me, my intuition was leading me. There was something here that was just like fascinating, and I wanted to go deep on it. So I would say just listen to what your gut's telling you, and if something's really piquing your interest, follow it. Pull on that thread, see where it's going to take you, and then, ask a lot of questions and ask a lot of different people those kinds of questions so that you've got the broader kind of context for how it can apply in the right way.
Yeah, I love it. Follow your gut, be flexible, ask questions. All right, so thinking about your agency, Vigor, what are you most excited for that's ahead? Whether it could be with your agency, the industry, like what gets you fired up?
Growing our team.
Yeah?
Yeah. Working with some really amazing people that all of a sudden this thing has become bigger than me. And I'm a team builder, and I wasn't really planning on this becoming what I was doing by creating Vigor. But there's some really amazing people that I get to work with every single day on the Vigor team that have the same passion and have the same just like tenacity and energy for what we do and how we do it with our clients.
I love it. All right, so I'm going to ask you one last question, the same question I ask everybody, is what advice do you want to leave for people on the road?
On the road, I would just say keep on trucking. Keep your head up.
Yeah, it's good advice for days like these, you know.
Right.
These are tough times for a lot of people.
You know, everything's changing. It's just about kind of like riding through the storm and, you know, keep on driving towards what you know to be true, to be right, the right thing to do. Yeah.
Keep on trucking, follow your gut. No, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Sometimes you have to just plow ahead and just know everything's going to be okay. All right. So where can people find more information about your agency or follow you?
Yeah, definitely. Withvigor.io.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Jess, thank you so much for coming on the show. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Cheers.
Next time, oysters.
Yeah.